is my project on the chemistry of making chocolate. And the three main reactions involved with making chocolate are fermentation, the Maillard reaction, also known as browning, and caramelization. But I'll be going into more depth on fermentation, which is the first and most important step of the three. So here is a diagram that I drew for what is fermentation. And as you can see, during fermentation, microorganisms like yeast and bacteria break down sugars and glucose in the cocoa beans, which produces ethanol, carbon dioxide, and heat and acidity. And this process is very important because it reduces the bitterness in the cocoa and it makes flavor precursors that are necessary for the chocolate's taste. So, for the science behind the reaction, this is a biochemical reaction, which means it's controlled by enzymes from microorganisms such as yeast and bacteria. And this reaction breaks down glucose into smaller molecules, such as ethanol and carbon dioxide. This reaction also produces important compounds called flavor precursors, which will later be used to produce the flavor of chocolate. So here is the balanced chemical equation for fermentation, and it's glucose breaking down into ethanol and carbon dioxide. And one molecule of glucose produces 2 molecules of ethanol and 2 molecules of carbon dioxide. Here's the mole ratio for the equation, and this ratio allows us to calculate how much product is able to be formed from a given amount of reactant. So here's an example calculation, and if we have 3 moles of glucose, we can calculate the amount of carbon dioxide produced using the mole ratios, and we can get 6 moles of carbon dioxide through this mole ratio. And for the history of fermentation, it has been practiced since ancient times in civilizations with the Mayans and Aztecs, and they fermented cocoa beans to make chocolate drinks, but their ancient methods were uncontrolled and commonly led to inconsistent flavor. But nowadays, in modern times, we can affect the humidity and the temperature in a room, which leads to more consistent flavoring. Thank you.